The computational theory of the visual systems is trying to determine and specify the surrounding outside world that is represented by the visual system, as well as describes the process that creates these representations from the information contained and captured by the retinal image. The computational problem is the process of visual stimuli being transferred from the retina into the brain and the ability to create a correct representation of such visual information so that it can be retrieved at the conscious level, i.e., transferring meaningless light signals and stimuli to a meaningful representation. Its behavioral purpose is to help complete daily tasks and respond to visual stimuli such as reading, walking, coding, driving, etc. Its mental process, the visual system, helps us create a mental image of the world we perceive, using top-down processing to understand the visual stimuli with prior knowledge. This helps our ability to process and navigate through physical space along with allowing us to interact socially with others based on visual representation. For example, processing somebody's body language and facial... Oh, I did this out of order. Its behavioral purpose is to help complete daily tasks and respond to visual stimuli, such as reading, walking, cooking, and driving. The visual system and the mental process helps us to create a mental image of the world we perceive, using top-down processing to understand visual stimuli with prior knowledge. This helps with our ability to process and navigate through physical space, along with allowing us to interact socially with others based on visual representation. For example, processing somebody's body language and facial expressions to help determine emotion. The visual system is associated with both the behavioral and mental functions. On one hand, the visual system is critical for us to interact with our outer environment. It is critical for interacting with objects and people and performing many everyday tasks. On the other hand, the visual system is critical for us to receive and understand information from our outer environment. The visual system is composed of many different brain regions, with each region responsible for different functions. The system has three important physical hardwares, which is the retina, lateral geniculate, and primary visual cortex, or V1. The retina receives light signals from the environment and transfers the light signal into action potentials, which can be processed by the brain. The lateral geniculate receives action potentials from the retina and organizes and refines these action potentials for further processing and interpretation. The V1 receives the action potentials from the lateral geniculate and turns them into meaningful images which can be understood by other brain regions. Damage to any of these three regions will cause malfunction in the visual system. Damage to the retina will cause blindness. Damage to the lateral geniculate will cause various deficits within the visual system depending on the degree and location of damage. Examples of deficits are blind spots in the central vision, difficulties with reading, color blindness, visual hallucinations, and distortions in visual perception. Damage to the V1 area will cause various deficits of the visual system depending on the degree and location of damage as well. Examples of deficits are loss of visual field, difficulties distinguishing or recognizing different colors, difficulties perceiving moving objects, and difficulty recognizing and identifying objects.